Well, hello everybody. My name is Ted Gardner and I'm an interviewer for the Library of Congress Oral History Project. And we're here at the Public Library, main branch of, of our great library in downtown Cincinnati. And it's the 21st of March. Happy spring to everybody. And I have the honor and the privilege of introducing and speaking with Mrs. Ann Corder, who served in the waves in World War II.
Right.
And we're very honored to have you here, Ann, and it's, we'll just be talking about things in general, and I hope that we'll be able to get your story, and I know that you have a very interesting one to impart to us. Where were you born, Ann?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Where did you go to school?
Notre Dame.
Pardon?
Downtown. Notre Dame here. Downtown.
Downtown.
Then I moved out to Reading.
Okay, very good. And did you come out of did you have brothers and sisters?
I had one sister.
One sister.
And a half sister.
Okay, very good. And so after elementary school, where did you go to high school?
Notre Dame.
Pardon?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame High, up in Reading.
Over downtown. Then out to Reading afterwards. I left there and went to commercial
Okay.
business school.
All right, very, very good. What year were you born?
1921.
1921. Oh, we share that. That's great. After getting into school and getting aware of things and beginning to get an education, did you see anything in the future that you were heading for in the way of education, for a career or anything like
I
that?
wanted to, but I couldn't. I didn't have I don't know what it was. I wanted to be a nurse.
You wanted to be a nurse. Oh, that's a very, very high goal. And
Make it.
high school at Notre Dame, which was downtown. Where was that downtown?
6th Street, Xavier University,
Oh, at Xavier University.
right near them,
Okay,
next door.
right.
It's on 6th Street where I went to school.
Okay. Well, that's
They closed that and sold it.
right. The situation at that time. Were you interested in world affairs? Did you listen to news on the radio, things like that?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, that was part of our growing up in those days, wasn't it? Of course, all we had was radio in those days, the early days.
We had TV when we got married.
Pardon? Uh-oh. It was interesting, in those days, of course, we were growing up in the 20s, and beginning to wonder, as you looked at with your family, your sister, your father and mother, were you active in, did you have any particular interest in the city itself? Did you do anything in the way of associations or clubs or anything like that?
No.
Okay, I understand. Where were you on Pearl Harbor Day? Everybody remembers where they were.
Washington, D.C.
You were in Washington, D.C. at that
yeah.
time. Had you already gone into the service?
Oh, yeah.
When did you enter the service?
43.
Pardon?
43.
43.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But back on December the 7th, 1941, where were you?
Oh, I went to work at Aeronautics
I beg your pardon?
I went to work at Wright Aeronautical.
Okay, all right. And what kind of a place was that?
They made airplanes for the service. I had time to get out of there to go into service, so because that was all commercial for airplanes.
I see. Now you're talking about Wright Aircraft,
Yes,
which is now General Electric.
right.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you there. Well, that must have been a very exciting place to work.
It was, but I didn't want to work there. I wanted to go into service.
You wanted to go into the service.
Yes.
Okay. So after Pearl Harbor, is that when you made your move and you left Wright and went into the service?
Shortly after that,
Shortly after that.
yes.
And so you decided to join the Navy. Is that the
I
idea?
went downtown one day and I saw the sign, says, "We need you." And I thought, well, that's me, so I better go in the Navy.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh,
Yeah, I mean-
you know that was such a prevalent spirit in those days.
Yeah,
The whole nation was caught up in the spirit of what had happened to us, the attack by the Japanese, and the unexpectedness of it all. And of course, in those days, we weren't as well prepared as we could have been for the impending war. But I'm interested in having you tell us more about your experience with Wright. And you said you were in the commercial part of it at Wright.
I was in, we did things with the lab.
Okay, very, very
I
good.
used to get the papers working, I used to type them up and send them on down to the lab.
All right, and were there a lot of women involved out there at that
Oh, yeah.
time? That was a big drawing place.
I used to take them all up,
Uh-huh.
break them all in, show them where to go and everything. Break them in, get their uniforms and where the time clock was and go in out the building. Then they had opened up front, the main office. And so I went up there then to work as a secretary. And the same thing in the Navy.
Well, it's interesting that you say that when you were downtown and you saw this recruiting sign.
Yeah, I used to
And-
come by the library here, the main library on
Yeah,
Ninth.
the old library.
Right.
Right.
It was right near there. I saw that sign.
Well, that was a very exciting time for so many, and particularly for you. I think that what people today find very interesting as they talk about and learn about World War II and the attitude of the country and how everyone was involved in it,
With their rations
Right.
and everything. Rations.
Now, so you signed up with the Navy and they said, we're going to send you to Washington, D.C., is that it?
Well, I didn't say right away, though. I had to wait for an opening. And then we were sent there, but it was overcrowded. You get a rating right away. You had to wait for a rating. And I had to take the tests. And they said more semen than I needed. I don't know why they sent me there, but it was nice. A nice, clean city.
Right.
I used to go by the Capitol all the time.
You took a train to Washington, did you, from here?
Yeah, went to New Jersey first,
New Jersey?
and then back to Washington. We stayed overnight in the terminal, in the train
Oh, yes.
overnight. The next day we went into Washington. But it was hot on the train. Oh, was it hot? couldn't open the windows or anything. But it was hot on there.
Did they have, what were the facilities for women staying there in Washington at that time? Were you in a hotel? Or?
Yes, I was in a hotel.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Right downtown Washington?
Yeah, not right quite into town, but close to the White House.
Yes. Well, wasn't the old Navy Department in that big old building there on Pennsylvania Avenue?
So I went to work, but I had to walk down to work every day.
Uh-huh.
And
now, you indicated earlier that you were in the Bureau of Aeronautics. Well, that was must have been very, very fascinating.
There's a lot of different things that came in and out. So the Bureau and had to capture them and everything.
Uh-huh.
Everything had to be captioned.
In the Bureau of Aeronautics now, was your duties as a clerk or as a...
As a clerk there, yeah.
Okay. And you, by that time, you'd had typing and stenography and so forth?
Yeah.
Well, that's remarkable.
And I went up to the main office and worked afterwards.
Right.
And did the secretarial work.
Oh, that's just terrific.
But my shorthand was very rusty, so they sent me to school for a while, and I brushed up on it, and went back to work, and that was better.
Right. Tell us about some of the people that you encountered there at the Bureau of Aeronautics. Any famous aviators or personnel that were really into the flying service, or were they just all bureaucrats?
A few of the captains. In fact, I worked for one of them, but I don't remember the names anymore.
Uh-huh. Well, that's exciting, because here's a young woman from Cincinnati, in the big city of our nation's capital, and at wartime, which was a very exciting period and so much activity going on all the time. Did you ever see Franklin Delano Roosevelt?
Oh, yeah.
Aha. You heard him speak and so forth, did you?
Oh, yeah.
I see. Well, that's very historic too. And of course, and that time, of course, we were still in the Great Depression.
Right.
Do you have any reflections in your days remembering about the tough times of the Great Depression?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Anything you can tell us about there that comes to mind?
Van.
Now, how long were you in Washington, D.C.?
The entire time I was in the service.
All the time you were in the service?
I went right there.
And what was that, 3 years or 2 years or 5?
2 years. 2
years. So you were there from 43 to the end of the war?
Yeah, oh yeah. I
see. As time went on through the war, and our armed forces were strengthened by our great mass production and so forth, and the tremendous support that the nation gave our military. You saw different stages of improvement, did you? And
oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Anything in particular that comes to mind that you'd like to tell us? Did you have any funny experiences? Did you have any good times?
I had good times.
Uh-huh. Did you see any shows or concerts or anything that you remember? Band concerts, or anything like that?
I think a few of those.
Well, being in the waves, of course, was a very special thing for women, and the great contributions that you made And of course, as they said at the time, you were replacing a fighting man
Right.
and releasing them for their important work. So your work as a military person in the country was very, very important. If you have any experiences that come to mind that you think your family and friends who are going to see this DVD would like to hear about, we'd certainly be happy to hear of them. Anything that came to mind about people, places that you went to see, or anything like that, people that you worked with? The war, of course, as the war progressed, you being in the Bureau of Aeronautics, you were privy to all the news that was going on, were you?
Not all of it, but some of it. What came through our department, yes.
Uh-huh. Right. Did you have any contact with the manufacturer of the aircraft, naval aircraft, or anything like that?
No.
I see. Okay. What else might be something that you could tell us about your wartime experiences?
I don't think there's too much I could tell you.
Okay. Well, we're certainly very, very proud of you, and we're very, very thankful to you for your great service. Now, you've got some wonderful pins and medals and so forth on you here. Anything in particular that you'd like to tell us about?
No. No, I don't think so.
Women veterans and so forth. That's very important.
No.
And you know, today in Washington, have you been back to Washington?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the war memorials and so
I was
forth?
there when it opened. I was there when it opened.
Oh, you were? You were there when it opened?
Yes.
The World War II Memorial.
2002.
Wow, that's exciting. Yeah. I was there last year to see it for the first time.
Oh.
And of course, completed and everything, you know, it was just a wonderful experience. We have, there's an organization called Honor Flight. I don't know if you know about that. You know about Honor Flight? Did you take that?
No, I want to.
Oh, I
Signed up for it.
Yes. And now we're flying out of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I took it a couple of years ago when they were just doing it out of Dayton, but now we're doing it out of Cincinnati, and it's a great opportunity for people.
We signed up for it.
Oh, you're signed up for it. Good. Well,
Yeah.
they'll be calling. As a matter of fact, I was with a group of them yesterday out at our Warbird Museum out at the Claremont County Airport. Do you know about that?
No.
Warbird Museum? It's a wonderful place, and where we're restoring World War II aircraft and so forth.
Well, I said, I'd be interested in that.
Oh, yes.
The
you'd be-
fire.
Well, we'll certainly have to get you some information on that. I'll get your name and address and send you some information
Okay.
about that too.
That'd be real nice.
Well, listen, this has just been a very exciting time to speak with a grizzled war veteran, as I am too. Because we go way back, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's
Yes,
something,
sir.
and your husband, of course, and I'm looking forward to speaking with him about it, his experiences. And if there's anything at all that comes to mind that you'd like to tell your family and friends who will see this DVD, we're certainly anxious to hear about them. Where do you live now?
Madeira.
In Madeira. And that's a wonderful community over there.
like it.
Yes, indeed. How it has grown. Well, I think that's I think that
I should tell you.
unless you have something more that you'd like to tell us, we certainly are appreciative of your being here and you're imparting to us what it was like to be a wave in World War II. And do you keep, oh, by the way, do you have any reunions or you keep in touch with people?
Yeah, I belong to two Navy groups. I belong to one now and one American Legion. I've been in the American Legion for 20 some odd years now.
Well, that's wonderful. I don't know if you realize it or not, but every Veterans Day, November the 11th, right here at the main public library, there's a marvelous, marvelous Veterans Day ceremony.
Glad to Blue Ash for theirs. Bob Portman.
All right, yes, right, Rob Portman and so forth. Well, so I hope that you'll be able to attend that Veterans Day event. It would be an honor to have you here. And because the library has hosted this wonderful Veterans Day program for over 50 years. Because this library, when it was built, the new library, it was dedicated to veterans of Hamilton County. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes, well, so it is a veterans memorial, and it is a great repository of memorabilia and history of all the wars that Hamilton County people have served in here. So it's, if you ever want to do any historical research or genealogical research or anything like that, our history department here on the third floor of the library, of which Dennis Daly is very, very deeply involved, is a great place to learn about history and genealogy. And you know that this interview that you've had here on a DVD, you'll get a copy of that, and a copy is sent to the archives in Washington, D.C. for keeping, and a copy is kept here at the Public Library Archives. So you're on the history records, and anybody who would like to log in and to the Public Library History Department, they can eventually they will see Mrs. Corder on the tape. So again, we want to thank you very, very much for your participation. It's been an honor speaking to you, and I wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you.